Hey, Daniel, it's me, Paul.
How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing really good. How are you doing?
Good, good, good.
Awesome, man. Well, we can go ahead and start off this interview. Um, I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for volunteering and reaching out to me, contacting me, and letting me know you wanted to do this interview. I know that you had quite an experience in this group, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and be able to share your story with not just with me, but with everyone who will be listening. And I know that it's going to help people see the light and help people to wake up. So I want to thank you, brother. And can you just go ahead and start off by introducing yourself, who you are, and how you came into this group, and then just take it from there. We're all ears.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, first of all, I would just want to say thank you to yourself. Thank you to you. To giving me this opportunity. In any way, just to help expose. This
Amen.
so-called Lord's Recovery.
Yeah.
And yeah. So my name is Daniel. I am from Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
I'm currently living in the Phoenix area.
Cool.
And the way I came into this group was basically during my years in my undergrad. I grew up kind of in a non-practicing Catholic family.
Okay.
Then, as I started realizing that the Catholic Church, I was not really finding God in
Right.
there. I realized that once that was there, I joined this one Protestant church. It was mostly like a Spanish-speaking kind of
Yeah.
smaller congregation
Right.
in a Spanish-speaking church, but I realized that I was not really finding God in Protestant churches either because of
Okay.
the fact that there was a lot of money-hungry people, a lot of people just kind of over there for the wrong reasons, and a lot of rude people just in general.
Wow.
So that led me kind of to go astray when I was in my teenage years. So for the vast majority of my teenage years, I was a quote-unquote atheist. A
Okay.
quote-unquote, over there, arguing with people in high school of
Wow.
how, God doesn't exist. So it wasn't until I started my college years I was trying to look for a Bible study. And,
Wow.
the local church members, as opaque and as non-transparent as they are, it was during my freshman orientation where they were just like, hey, do you want to join a Bible study?
Right.
And I figured I wanted to try something new. I've always been kind of a shyer person.
Yes.
It was always hard for me making new friends, and it's always been kind of harder making friends as my teenage years were
Right.
coming by. So I figured that once I started college, it would have been a good opportunity to not only reconnect with my faith, but also try to find some friends
Yeah.
in my college years.
Right.
And the local church members being as opaque as they are and doing their,
Yeah.
summer outreaches as I participated in them for almost 4 years,
Okay.
I basically was realizing that, we really got to really train. Even me, I could say, looking at it from the other side, you really get trained how to act normal, get trained how to, approach people and just say, oh, we're just a regular Christian group, a regular non-denominational Christian group trying to have a Bible study and fellowship with you.
Yeah.
And that was really my experience there. So
Wow.
I started going to these Bible studies, and the local church people, I gotta hand it to them. They always give you good food, and me being a bigger boy, I can never say no to food. So they always had good pizza over there,
Right.
and they always went to their Bible studies. And I always realized something, that it's like one of the things I always realized also is they treat you kind of like in this very fake nice way, which
Yes.
I don't want to discredit them completely.
Sure.
Maybe they could be really nice people,
Sure.
but I noticed them that they kind of, it's just a show they're trying to play. They treat
Yes.
you really nice, especially at first when they're first getting to know you,
Right.
simply because they want to gain your trust. They really want
Absolutely.
you to be able to trust them, and I guess by them treating you really nice is kind of like a cover up for, even when you start to notice that a few things are kind of off, for you to think to yourself, oh, well, these people are so nice to me, so I'm not going to leave this group.
Exactly.
And my first year, everything was pretty standard. It was basically, as opaque and as non-transparent as they are during my undergrad years.
Yeah.
Would just stick to reading the Bible, stick to just Bible verses.
Right.
I didn't even hear of this so-called cult leader by the name of Witness Lee.
Wow. So you went around like close to a year without even hearing about Witness Lee.
I went about one whole year without even hearing about Witness Lee, the FPTA, the Lord's Recovery,
Wow.
the local churches. It was just a simple Bible study.
Wow.
That was when they started inviting me then to their so-called home meetings, which for those of you guys in the audience that may or may not know what those are, they're basically just other Bible studies that take place in a member of the local churches that you may not even know they're part of the local church's house,
Right.
as I did. I just thought they were just people that they knew or something.
Right. Right.
And once again, I got to give credit where credit is due. They do cook really good food.
Yeah.
So many broke college students. That's
Right.
definitely a big incentive on how to lure them into coming to these
Oh,
so-called
totally.
home meetings, which are basically just once again quote unquote Bible studies. At the very beginning of the semester when they're recruiting new students, they are so-called just kind of saying the Lord's recovery.
Right.
They're not going to introduce to you themselves as the Lord's recovery, but they're definitely going to put on a face mask, just saying like
Right.
it's just a simple Bible study.
Yes.
And then they sing some hymns. Some of the hymns I have heard in the past, so like it just got me to think, okay, this is just a regular group, just a normal group.
Yeah.
It was my second year where I got invited to these quote unquote conferences.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I'm a conference. Once again, for the audience listening, for those of you guys, I'm pretty sure y'all know what a conference is.
Yeah.
Simply just once again, you spend 3 days. I think it was in Oakland,
Okay.
where we spent our conferences in.
Okay.
And those conferences are basically, once again, another format in the way that they're just trying to deceive you, trying to trick you into just joining their group and getting deeper and deeper into the Lord's recovery.
Yeah.
And the conference, they always have, a lot of sports, some secular activities,
Yep.
and I guess if you're like a person like me that's always been kind of on the shyer side, it could have been a bit intimidating even because you
Yeah.
see so many college students from the different college campuses, but at the same time, it's an incentive where, as I've already repeated it several times, me being kind of the introvert I am, I guess it was just some sort of like incentive in a sense that maybe I could have met new friends and met new people,
Right.
which does happen, but it's all in pretense.
Yeah.
And at first, when I did not have that much experience to Christianity. To tell you to be completely honest,
Yeah.
I didn't even start reading the Bible until I was 20 years old, which was basically my third year of college.
Oh, wow.
During this time, I did consider myself quote unquote saved because I did get baptized actually at one of these conferences, and I did actually start getting some interest in God and wanting to meet God, even though it was the false God of the
Right.
Lord's recovery at the time. I still
Right.
wanted to get real closer to God.
Yes. Yeah.
And having and being in these conferences, making new friends. I didn't really have that many friends growing up, like I mentioned earlier, when I was in middle school, high school. So I guess having this many friends really just got me to,
Yep.
I guess, more motivation for me to want to keep on going
Oh, yeah.
to these groups.
Yeah.
And after this conference, it was during my second year, where this campus worker, I guess he thought I was already comfortable enough, and me, being kind of a gullible person at the time because I did not really have much Christian knowledge or have
Right.
much background. Because Christianity, even though my mom grew up, or even though my mom started going to church, my family was not really a family that we really talked about, any Christian values or any
Yeah.
something Bible or God related. So in my family, it wasn't really a big deal. And it wasn't even really something that I haven't really talked with my family or friends really in that matter. So
Yeah.
it was just a great way that I guess another great tool that these campus workers, which for the audience may not know what campus workers are, they're basically just quote unquote brothers and sisters who belong to the Lord's recovery and who make a commitment to serve full time on the campus ministry to try to recruit students into their
Right.
cult.
Yes. That's their full-time job.
Basically, yeah, that is correct. That is
Yeah.
their full-time job.
Yeah.
Well, and so many times as college students, you didn't even really know this. I certainly, starting off in college, I did not really know that this was basically their occupation.
Yeah. Right.